It's just really so inspiring for us to be at this conference. We get many invitations to speak in different countries around the world, and we can only accept a few of them, and we go for the most inspiring. This is why we have come all the way from New Zealand to Hungary, is to be with people who are such inspiring leaders. Our work has taken us to about 15 different countries, and poor countries and rich countries. And it doesn't matter how much money in the system, we see the same problems. We see the dehumanization of healthcare. We see many health professionals burning out. We see patients who maybe get good technical care, but the emotional experience of care is not good. So just exactly the same problems. So we're happy to spread that message and to explain to people, no, you don't need a lot of money to provide humane and compassionate care, because love does not cost any money at all. "13 years ago, our daughter Chloe, she was an 18-year-old student, she crashed her car and she ended up as a patient in one of our big trauma hospitals for 3 months. And she had very good clinical, technical care, but the way they treated her as a human being really shocked us. They didn't recognize that she needed emotional and psychological support and good food and things to really look after the whole being, instead of just the clinical care. And at the time I was a very powerful leader in healthcare, but my power was of no use. I could not persuade the hospital to respond to her basic human needs. So that was kind of radicalizing for me. And at that time I made the decision, no, I'm going to campaign to try to bring more love and compassion and humanity into the hospital system, into the clinics. The most important thing is to make the human connection. Often as health professionals, as a doctor, as a nurse, as a midwife, we're so used to being in our professional role, and we don't even treat the patient as a person. We're just treating that little bit of them that is the disease, the kidney or the heart or the lungs. You need to see the whole person. You need to make the human connection, because as I was presenting this morning from the amazing scientific research, if you make the human connection and show that you care, and if you're kind and compassionate, that transforms the outcomes from the patient, gives the patient satisfaction, but it also gives joy and love to the doctor or the nurse as well. The book starts off kind of with the reality of what it's like to work in a harsh healthcare system. It talks about burnout, it talks about patients being treated unkindly, because I want people to know that I understand their experience of what it's like to work in a bad system. And then it starts to talk about some doctors, nurses and therapists who actually are happy in the system, who are flourishing, who are joyful. And what is it about them that allows them to be joyful when everyone else is so stressed? And then I share the science of how human beings are connected. I share the science of how the positive psychology can make you more resilient, can make you happier, can protect you from burnout. And then I share stories and examples from right around the world of where people have managed to make the connection, to make a hospital that's more humane, that's kinder, and some of the things you can do not just to care better for your own patient, but to care for your colleagues and to change the system from within. And all of this is based on really good research and science. So it's a very comprehensive book. When I wrote it, I really didn't know if it would be any good at all. And it's been very surprising to me that so many people have loved the book, and now it's translated into Dutch and German and now Hungarian, and I'm blown away by that. But I guess it's a sign that it's meeting a need that people are feeling inside in their hearts. I think that healthcare has become so focused on disease and treating disease rather than treating the human being. Healthcare has become like a factory, like a production line, where everyone is very rushed and stressed. And those two things are really not helping us. So the future of healthcare is to slow down a little bit, to make the human connection, to care for the whole human being. And as I'm going to be presenting on Thursday at a conference for politicians and economists, that if we do that, that compassionate care reduces the amount of demand the patient makes. It reduces the patient's symptoms. You get better outcomes, more satisfaction. It reduces the tests, the interventions. It reduces the hospital admissions. It actually reduces the costs very much if we care for the whole person. So I think that's the message we need to get ahead for the future, is to shift the attention from just caring for the kidney or the lung to caring for the whole person with humanity and compassion, and then we'll get better outcomes, we'll do less work, we'll spend less money, and we'll have happy doctors and nurses as well.